Namaste, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity to meet with you like this. And for the, in fact, I believe it was Debbie who initiated this invitation to meet up with the UK Sangha. And, you know, I felt very happy and very happy right now to be having this chance to share an hour or so with you, and very much looking forward to this time. So thank you for joining me today. I'm here in Monte Sahaja. It's a beautiful, warm, sunny day, and I hope it's sunny right where you are. If not outside, surely inside. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's good. As you know, it was maybe about a month or so. I'm not so good with the exact dates and so on, that we had the online retreat. It was the first time that we were experimenting, in fact, to see if it worked. No? So now this is the second time I'm actually meeting with a group of this size, and just to have a feel, and also have another chance also to see what this feels like for you. And we have also some of the, I would say, UK Sangha joining in Portugal also. So welcome to everyone, and really good to see you. I have your faces in front of me, everyone. Those of you who wished to be seen, and some who wish not to have their image, that's fine also, they're off. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to today's gathering. Very good. Very nice, very nice. Actually, I have about 3 letters that were written. So at some point, I will like to take a look at them. I haven't actually looked at them so far. But I'm told that there are 3 letters came in. So I'll make some space for that. But in the meantime, it's up to you. Okay, so if you would like to to talk with me a little bit, and you can just raise your hand, and I'll see as the images go. Aha, we got Eileen there. Could you put? There we go.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Hello.
Hello, my love.
I feel to express my gratitude. It's been it is so powerful what I'm experiencing since I left Monte Sahaja. I don't have words. I just don't have. There are many words that come all the time.
It's okay.
But at the same time, none of them do it justice. You know, they always fail to capture the power of. Last time when I was in Sahaja, I wanted to come to you, and there was a lot of big ego stuff coming up. Yes. But there was also like a state of confusion at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to express, and there was this energy that was also trying to hide from you, some ego that it was afraid it would get caught and exposed. But since then, it's just been so wonderful. A lot of this ego, it's like it can't hide anymore. There's just some spontaneous seeing happening all the time. Every time an ego arises and it tries to create a story that maybe I should be looking into it, or it's just it can't hold up in the light of my seeing. I remember last time one of the satsangs, he said, just pay attention to yourself.
Yes.
You know, pay attention to yourself. And this has been like the most powerful weapon.
I'm happy you say that, because in fact you saved me a lot of words. First of all, if you have deduced for yourself, you have worked it out, that that pointing to say, simply pay attention to to your own self, to the self itself. Because obviously the habit, the reflex, is to to be pulled again towards the mind energy, the mind field. And we know it's an ancient story. Everyone experiences it. So I don't want to put anything like, oh, we should be ashamed and so on, because we all grew up with ego in this life. I think if we had overcome the ego, we probably would not be here for this round. You understand? So we have to go through it. It's something that is meant to happen when consciousness comes into the play of manifestation. So we all will experience, and ego simply mean not being egotistical and boastful. No, ego can be very, very humble appearing and very, very, very gentle in appearance. It can become very subtle also. It simply means the continued investment or identification with oneself as merely the body-mind construct and conditioning that arises for us. And we all taste that and know what that feels like. Fortunately for you who are here, I am assuming like that you have already gone through, if you have been following the pointings, you will be in the experience rather than merely the belief that this is going somewhere. You experience that beyond the field of the changeful, which includes the ego personality, is the unchanging awareness self, you can say, which cannot be seen in the way that the mind appears to want to discover it. It cannot be seen and recognized phenomenally. It has no particular quality that we can say, aha, now I can see it. So it will not be with these eyes that we will see the self in that way. So gradually, as we have deepened in our understanding and maturing more and more towards what is being pointed. And this is the subtle thing, because if we relate and rely upon the usual mind functioning, it will always deviate or in some way avoid this direct recognition of what is unrecognizable phenomenally. Yet I know that you understand that in the way that the only way it can be understood is experientially. And this is why you say, I cannot put words to it. I cannot, the words, they fail in any language. It doesn't matter how good you are with language. You could be a Shakespeare, or you could be whoever, a Rumi. You cannot convey. And but we should not be frustrated at that. In fact, our lack of eloquence is itself a sign of our maturity, that we cannot convey it directly. The main way it can be in some way transmitted is through your own presence, when you are absorbed in your own source. There is something there. It's like there's a language without words, that when we are in the company of people, even without the intention of sharing or helping, it is as though there is some sort of osmosis or something, some transmission happens like that. Of course, we do the best we can with words, and words are very useful because it is our main form of communication. Not the only one, but it's the most popular, because everybody speak, almost, not everybody speak. And so, of course, we have to use words to point to. And sometimes the words are enough, they do enough of the job that they're capable of doing within their potential, because the rest you must take within that mystical place within you, that you don't know how you understand something. You don't know how you come to see. We don't know. We don't know. And that's why amongst the wise, it is often said that they who know that they don't know. You see? So I'm really on par with you when you speak like that. And just to say, yes, when we go back a few words, you mentioned also that when you were here, you know, at some point before leaving, the ego flared up. The ego energy flared up. We know what this is like. Also, like something is hiding. You know, this is the greatness of true satsang, because it will bring out both the best and the worst in ourselves, isn't it? It brings
Yes.
out, I say sometimes, it brings out the best and the beast, you know,
Yes.
comes out. Because, you know, and it is important. We should not be ashamed. A true or earnest, you know, seeker of truth should be very, and will be very pleased, not happily pleased, but they appreciate when the beast is exposed. Because then they see, aha, you know, for how long have you been hiding inside my being? You see, perhaps undetected, unrecognized. And that is why it goes on for so long. Some say after many, many lifetimes, we are still walking the road of progress, not actually exposing the ultimate, delusion, you see. So, of course, it plays to hide, and in the heart and mind of a true seeker, it cannot hide. Your earnestness for truth makes it, very difficult for ego to hide. It's like a thief hiding in a glass house with glass furnitures. He cannot hide because wherever he goes, he's exposed by the light of pure consciousness.
It's so wonderful.
Yes, and I'm so thankful that, I can speak with you and you can be honest about it. Just yesterday, even here in Sahaja, we had a talk with those who are here. And at the end of the talk, I asked actually, how many people are here who still feel like they're hiding from me? And quite a few hands went up. And it was a shared response. I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm also happy. Happy that people had the courage to say, I am one of those who have been here. And you may have been here for 2 or 3 years even, and still hiding, something is avoiding. And I'm happy about this because then from here we can move on. We can move in and on to look at this because, the psychological identity will always be looking for, to send you on another journey, on another errand, and all of it to, in effect, to avoid coming to that ultimate experiential conclusion. We know that. I hope wherever you are, that you are not, you may be physically distant from where we are in Sahaja, but in the heart not. This is why we are meeting now and using internet, because we see that it is effective. It is also a tool of consciousness, that the consciousness can convey, and the spirit being everywhere equally, it doesn't have to, it's right there with you. I'm not sending a spirit from Sahaja. It is your own being. Consciousness is conversing with consciousness about its own self and source. So I hope you all are relating to what I'm saying, because this is not something just personal. This is a universal concern. No? And so I want to thank you for just each time someone comes with openness and honesty, all benefit, including those who feel that they already know this. They can benefit if they're humble enough, they can see. You see?
This has come, Guruji, in one of the last satsangs in Sahaja Express.
Yeah.
There were 2 satsangs where 2 of the older members of Sangha came forward to speak to you. And that was so powerful to see when we are putting our attention on some egoic activity, we can spend so much time with our attention in it rather than when we pay attention to ourselves. And when this ego stuff was coming, especially about trying to show off or show to you how much understanding is coming or things like this, there was always, it's this, the bigger the ego, the bigger the competition for my attention. And this pointing that you, of paying attention to myself, it's so powerful that completely takes power away from the ego.
This is what I'm so pleased about, you see, because we can go two ways. We can defend and protect the egoic identity, which is only a relationship we're having with delusion, in fact. Or you can, as you're doing, expose it. When you get to expose it, it might feel a little bit, we feel a little embarrassed, or other people are going to see that, I was faking or something. But I tell you, it's far more powerful than that. By just, and then you say this, the magical pointing, which is that, somehow, rather than giving energy to these things, to this false self-portrait, I remember that witnessing of all these is taking place actually effortlessly. It's the mind that thinks it must make effort. But even the mind making effort to understand the self is also perceived in the self. And this, we are coming to the quintessence of the pointing, whereby as you pay attention, you say, can it be so simple? My God! Can it be so simple? And what happens in the mind says, no, it is not that simple. Not for me. It is not that simple. There's lots of things going on. There's lots of voices coming. I never know how to stop them. And we're back into the I person again, fighting the I person war that you never win. At least you may progress at that level, but it's so slow because you're fighting with a great handicap, with false identity. So you say, no, I just remember, and in the instant of my remembering, I'm back in my natural power. And what happens to all that trouble? It vanishes. It never was real. It's only as real as you take yourself to be personally, then these things appear personally. Who gets it? Who gets it, you see? Because if we don't, because, there's something here where we have made some compromise, some kind of deal with that, okay, there are things I want to do in the world. There's things I want from the world. And, I can't fully go into what MooJi is saying because he's talking about wipeout. Well, I'm not talking about wipeout of the world, of the earth, of the planet. I love the planet. Like I say, I just don't want the planet. I love the planet. I love the life here. But I don't have to go too far. You must know how far. When you begin to have aspirations for your person, it means that to that extent, we are involved in a way. And I've got to take a moment to make this clear because I don't want you to misunderstand. And I'm speaking now broader than you, Eileen. I'm speaking to everybody when I say this. I have nothing against work and life and enjoying existence. There's nothing against this. I'm talking like there's nothing about, we were talking about, there's nothing wrong with things, even with money. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the attachment to and what you think it represents for you. That's where the trouble begins because it binds you into some kind of a deal that is the devil's deal. You can enjoy, you can outwardly experience and express and have contact with whatever your life brings to you, but inwardly be detached. But you will only do this once you begin to taste the treasures of the self, which are not material. You see, it's like in the Bible, I remember when Jesus say, don't work to save up treasures on earth that can be stolen, that can rot, that can decay, make treasures in heaven, mean that in your heart. What are these treasures he's speaking about? The treasure of peace and love and openness and wisdom and loving kindness, and compassion. And this is the treasure that you will not lose. You understand? So that's all I'm telling you. I'm not speaking against life, the world. Life is experienced at different layers and levels according to, where your mind is at, where your identity is at. Because at every level that exists in consciousness, including hell, okay? Including hell, okay? Cannot work without God. It cannot. Because He's the all-encompassing one. So wherever you may be in your life, when I say right there is a door to your inmost being. So I'm not saying, the awakening, growing discovery is only for the elite, meaning those who have studied and have a lot of understanding, or those that we imagine were just destined for freedom. No, freedom means the discovery of what you can never not be fundamentally, but at present we are unaware of. So it is a journey of expanding into the awareness of what is timeless in us. That's what I wanted to share. You see? So, of course, when we're different intensity of identification with ego identity, of course, it happened. No? And the ego has a lot of things. It has a lot of programs. It has a lot of things to get you involved in. It has a lot. We cannot come to the end. There's no manual of the range or diversity of things for the human consciousness, human expression of consciousness, to get involved in more than any other species on any part in the universe. We have so much the mind can present to you and say, yeah, this and that and this and try this. And so if you are looking for distractions, where to begin, where to end on that. So all I'm saying is we each know where somehow our energy is, I would say, hemorrhaging. We may say where the energy wants to go. I say no. The real energy of observation, of pursuing, to one who is earnest and evolving in their discovery, that energy is turned towards just the self, just to remember, not building a self, not building a self. If you're a person, you're going to be invested and involved in building and recreating a self. I'm not talking about recreating any self. I'm talking about to discover that which is unchanging in you. And to the mind will say, unchanging, that sounds boring. I love change. I love change. Nothing wrong with change. But all the change that's taking place, you may enjoy. But you will enjoy excellently from the place of the unchanging. And that is what I'm talking about. So when you speak, just going back now to Aline, about what comes up, ego, it will come up. It will come, and welcome. Let him come. Because if you are identified with the person, you will want to hide the ego, because it will make you feel ashamed. And you will feel, I don't want to expose this. Because you're taking sides with it. When you are willing to expose it, is a time when you'll draw the greatest benefit from its exposure. You'll say, why? Because, as I said before, the ego, or the psychological sense of self, cannot intimidate you as the pure truth. It can only do that to the idea you're holding onto of yourself, which is not true and not yourself. Do you follow all that? To all of you, I'm speaking like that. And we know this. I'm not saying something so new to you, because if you say that you are come here, I've come to meet the Sangha, you should know this. And not just here. You should know it here. And even though we know it here, now we can say we still feel the pull to go towards what we have for a long time, at least in this life. I would say even beyond, but we don't go there for now. Certainly in this life, we have been in service almost as a reflex to trade and on the basis of a personal identity. It's perfectly understandable. I'm not pointing fingers. We know what that feels like. But you also know what yourself feels like now, isn't it? You also know what it is to be resting in your truth. You know now. Not know it in a separate, it's not something else knowing the truth. The truth is the truth alone can really know itself, you know. Still, the mind is flapping over here, and something is going a little bit. We know that also, but this thing that's flapping toward is turning towards the mind stuff. This thing is still carrying some charge in it, the charge of identity. You follow? Can I get some response to you all? Yeah. So the mind stuff is going like this, and a potential in us is going a little bit towards it, and this going towards it is only because we still have some charge, some little identities playing. That's the only way. If this is not responding, this will soon say bye-bye, okay? Now it's saying bye-bye, purchase. He's saying purchase, yeah, purchase me, connect with me, and something is going. And I still say, even when this happens, the awareness is not this. It's not the awareness doing this. The awareness is here, being aware of this, even feeling the so-called pull of to go into personhood, but it is totally independent. Do we get this? Yeah. And then I am delighted to take this time to check in with you, because this, of all the things in life, all the promises, the so-called promises of life, and life is not here just to tempt you. No. You will see that all of this life actually is to verify the consciousness. That without consciousness it cannot even appear. Without consciousness, not even delusion and illusions can appear. But you must learn to sail your craft. And that is all I'm sharing. And I know that even to speak these things, that part of ourself that is, that part, don't like it. No? But how much are we willing to tap into that and to serve that energy? Because actually it's not serving you. The more you come to realize who and what you are, you see, that is not serving you. That is wisdom, to know what is true from what is untrue. You see, the untrue is legions. The truth is one. Are my words too difficult? Are they too painful to listen to, all of you?
I feel this is very obvious. It's been the experience since I left Sahaja. It's been constant. Waves of identification and ego, they come. Sometimes when things are too good, I just pray for God that just pull everything out. And sure enough, stuff is pulled out. But it's everything in a field of unchanging, just, and after the waves, after the storms pass, it's just so much, it's like deeper and deeper space and joy.
I will tell you something. It was good for you to leave Sahaja. You are speaking from a real distillation of the pointings. It's really percolated through into your own being. Sometimes it's good. There are some people who are leaving Sahaja at the moment, and I say, you must leave here, not with your tail between your legs, but as ambassadors, as apostles to the truth. that wherever you go, a garden should grow there. This is the power. That's how much confidence and faith I have in you. And you must live up to the truth of yourself, not with pride, but with honesty, you see. That you, sometimes it takes to be in the storm to really value your peace. Sometimes you have to be in here. Some of you may have difficulties at home, difficulties because of the what they call this thing here again? No, quarantine. Some of you have difficulties just with your friends or with people in the supermarket or wherever you may go. But as you move true to yourself, the self that I am pointing to, as you move in that power and that simplicity, you will see that you're walking through the Red Sea. You see. More and more. I am not trying to present a life as a bed of roses. Let come what come. But when seen from the mountaintop of your own being, not to be aloof in some proud way, but in the simplicity and the truthfulness of real understanding, you will make it through each thing. Things become a small thing. Life become, with the usual things that come in life, they are just opportunities to exercise the potency of your own understanding, actually. Don't be overwhelmed. And enjoy. Enjoy. First, you will be able to enjoy yourself. Maybe that is the true expression, to enjoy yourself. You'll be in the joy of yourself. And that joy becomes contagious, you know. At least amongst those who are open, you will experience like that. So, thank you, Arlene. Thank you for that. Who am I going to talk to, or wants to say something? We can also sit for a moment, you know. I'm not in a hurry. We can sit also for a moment. I have Radha down there with hands up. Please, you can. Aye.
Hey, Guruji.
Hello, Radha. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be with you in this way.
Thank you.
I don't know what to say, what will come, but I just thank you, because I've been away from Sahaja now for a few months, and during this quarantine thing, and been living with my parents. So things have come up, and but the most important thing I can say is that you've revealed in me the place of the non-happening. Nothing's happening here. Everything on the surface is coming, including the sense of the person that I once thought I was. I can just see this more and more clearly when it comes. I'm not interested in the things it suffers from.
Yes.
I can see more and more that that's the problem, the old identity.
Yes.
But actually, from this place, it's not even a problem.
Yes, you are now speaking from a very, I would say, exemplary position as a human being. You are speaking from a place. This is a true conversation. No? You're speaking from a place where you still report, of course, that the old identity and its regime keeps coming in, looking through the window, knocking on the door, anybody in or whatever, it's coming, but you are able to catch it, and with increasing, I would say, efficiency and effectiveness, you know? So don't worry, don't blame. I want to say as an open statement, don't be hard on yourself. And say, oh, people, say, oh, why do you keep coming? No, don't go down this road, because that's playing its game. You catch it, and you know why you're able to catch it, because you are not it. You see that actually you are coming out and away from this a certain state that had bound your liberty, had somehow contracted your freedom, was held hostage. But because it was a gradual takeover, we didn't feel it. So we didn't defend. We were not clear in our mind. So we even cooperated, because it had a way of just feeling right. Even when things are wrong, somehow we felt there was not another choice. But you have come to that elevation where you can begin to see that, wait a second, no, thank you. And so you preserve and honor your peace. So I
always, Guruji, I always knew, like from your pointings and following your pointings, that this person is not what I am. But now experientially, something's dropped in much deeper, so that I can confirm that I'm not this old image, this old self-image, and that I'm always here. Yes. No matter when it comes in or what comes in, I'm the one who's observing and aware of it all.
The old mindset in some manifestations will say, "Oh, but that's running away from life. That's not realistic. You should pay attention and deal with your troubles while you're escaping." Those who can understand will understand. If we can still speak from the place of ego and think we are sending helpful words to you. Darling, but you should give more attention and sort these things out. But you just remembering yourself.
Yes.
Meaning that you don't have to sort out the problems of an imaginary self.
No.
You understand? So this is something that I'm so thankful that the pointings are dropping into a place of maturity more and more. You see? And, gradually you will come to a place where you almost rarely need reminding, because you are. Just like if your name is John, you don't have to wake up somebody to remind you you're John. That's so there. You're not even thinking that you're remembering it. Somebody only needs to say and you're already You see why? and the name John is not original to your being. The name John, you see? So if we are so completely at home with the name John, how much more should we be at home with that which causes us to remember the name John? Without which there can be no John or Jane or anything else. So this is what's coming back. We are returnees. We are coming back home to our natural state. And I love to have this conversation, because you know what? It's real. It's real. It's not about fantasy and projection and visualizations and imagination. It's not about, sort of like high concepts about things. It's here, and it's for everyone. It's for everyone. And this is what is so beautiful, that the pointing is simple, but the ability to comprehend, to digest and assimilate it feels difficult, only because we are under the seeming jurisdiction of the egoic identity. And that is what growing up really means, to wake up from that sleep and that dream of personhood into your natural state.
Yeah, and it's really seeing that it is this dream of the person and its story that's all connected like that. It's nothing to do with me. But it took time to be able to like you say, ingest this and accept this in a way.
Yes.
That it's not, and still this is happening. It's not complete by any.
That is the paradox.
I'm complete.
Yes.
I'm complete fully, but this is still happening in this dynamic realm, and this is what it's for, to come completely out of that sense that I'm this person and this
Very good.
this story it's just and I'm just, without you, Guruji, this is not possible. I need my master, and I've seen from being away from you now for some months, I don't need to be with you physically so much, although I miss you and love you so much. I mean, there's something to be said for being there physically, but it's made me look and really be with you in as me.
Yes. Those are
and
these are golden words. This is the Gita that I can enjoy. To hear you speak like that, how encouraging for everyone. You don't have to be here physically. You are understanding, and this understanding is taking place right inside your heart. And it takes time. It takes time, paradoxically, it takes time to recognize the timeless. What to say? It takes time to recognize the timeless. That's what time is for. Best use of time.
Guruji, I leave this delusion of the person at your feet. Well, I don't want to leave it at your feet, just to the universe, because I don't want to give you ingrown toenails.
Ingrown toenails. And I've got some funny bunion. It's okay.
Oh no,
it's okay.
But I just want to offer it all up. And if you see anything here, and just by coming in front of you, it's going to burn so much more. That's not true. But if you sense anything in me, then I just want it all.
Listen, I am
in the fire.
I am in high company at the moment. If there was something to see, I don't have no idea what that could be right now. Okay? I love you, love you, love you.
Guruji, I love you so much. And all of Sahaja, you're just,
yeah.
It's just beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thanks to you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Bless you, Guruji.
Wonderful. Let's take a moment. Let's digest. I can maybe have a little bit of tea. Yes. Right now the opening of this turn here. Ribose tea I'm drinking today. Hot, you see the steam? Look at that. Too hot, oh my God. All right, leave it there for a minute. Maybe I'll take a look at one. I got something here. It was written on here. It says this is from Debbie, no? Okay. Beloved Guruji, thank you for responding to my call. I wrote an email to you and on water, asking for this meeting with the UK Sangha via Zoom. And now it's taking place. The online retreat was a gem. My heart felt you calling me. I am so deep in this loving grace. I know nothing, simply at the feet of God-filledness. I can see you, Debbie. Nice home you have beside you there. I'm looking also a little bit. Thank you, my love. Thank you for this constant loving pouring from our Sahaja Sangha. It is overflowing in its song of life, the truest love song in every connection received. Love you all so much. Thank you for allowing me to be nothing in particular. Allowing this life to breathe in me and set me free, set me free. Thank you, love you, namaste, Debbie Om. Who writes letters like that? Who writes letters like that? Hmm? Who writes letters like that? This is a letter from the beingness itself. When a person writes a letter, it may have many wonderful things, many I love yous and miss you and all these things also. And same with us. But when I read like this, I am feeling the words you said also. I think you said here also. Thank you for responding to my call. I wrote an email to you and on water. Remember I got one said, writing on water. It does not leave any trace. And, you know, when we have lived with identity, we want to leave a trace. We want to carve a heart into the side of a tree and put, you know, love and so on, so on, so. Life allows that, it's okay. But as you are discovering the fullness of yourself, you are not just restricted to just this form only. It's fine, it's good. You're here very, very much, no? In its unique way. This is the uniqueness of consciousness in expression. But you're also, the consciousness is not the size of this body, it is boundless. And now you can experience more the widening sense, the expansion of the sense of self from the state of personhood into the field of presence, and from presence into unbound awareness. This is what is happening. I want to thank you also for calling up and requesting this meeting today, and for just being in touch in such a, I would say, compassionate way. So all my love to you, Debbie. Thank you so much for writing to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. I'm in my rocking chair today, so I hope I'm not coming in and out of focus. I'm sorry, but it's just comfortable, you know.